greatest legacies are built with grit and...
Oh, no.
Getting sung by the team. Gender reassignment switching P's and V's. Fake news always spreading disease. Like two queers with HIV.
All right, friends, look at this article coming from CNBC. For the most part, I think it's decent. Boycott hits stocks hard. Here is what might be next for Bud, Target, and other caught in anti-pride backlash.
We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people.
We are told one by one companies have come under expanding attack. Anheuser-Busch, Target, Kohl's, and VS Corp, and North Face brand all felt the vitriol of this latest push from the right. And the list keeps growing. These companies have been branded as woke capitalist, and worst, as critics urge boycotts of these companies' products.
Nature lets you be who you are.
Even gay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are cordially invited to the Summer of Pride with my friends at the North Face.
While North Face received backlash for an ad featuring drag queen Patagonia, Target and Kohl's have been criticized for pride themes clothing. Well, the people are fighting back.
The greatest legacies are built with grit and resilience. One detail at a time. Limited edition Budweiser Harley-Davidson cans. For those who give everything to their craft. This Bud's for you.
That looks like damage control to me.
Hey, are you serious?
People aren't buying it, man. It's just not in it.
Bud Light is getting real desperate. They tried, what did they try? They tried to defend the Dylan Mulvaney can. Then they tried to kind of backtrack a little, but not really. They put out that apology letter from the CEO, but it wasn't an apology. It's just a guy saying, like, I support the military. Bud Light is American. It's good. Then they did a commercial about horses or something. But then they tried to pin it on this marketing VP, and they put her on leave. But then, so what are they doing now? Bud Light is sending free beer to every wholesale employee. Bud Light is reportedly sending a free case of beer to every employee of its wholesaler network. That's a lot of people. In part, I think they're doing this because they don't know what to do with all the beer. They've got too much beer because people aren't buying it anymore because their sales have not only declined dramatically, but they are continuing to decline more and more and more.
Well, Bud Light has got a lesson to learn. But these companies they don't learn from each other, though. They just keep on pushing it. And this video explains the reasons why they keep doing that. Take a listen to this.
Why are so many companies going woke? There had to be some reason. And after some digging, I found it. The CEI, Corporate Equality Index, aka the Woke Credit Score. It's a made-up score based on how much a company is pushing woke issues. And who made up and gives this score? An organization called the HRC, a massive political lobbying group. Apparently, HRC sends representatives to corporations every year, telling them the kind of stuff they have to make visible at the company, give them a list of demands, and if they don't follow through, there's a threat that they won't keep their CEI credit score. And why do companies even care about this made-up woke credit rating?
If they get a bad score, then the woke investor funds start putting pressure on the boards. Woke activists are mobilized out in the streets. Advertising campaigns are shut down. Anyone that continues to do business with them will also be penalized. This is fascism.
Don't play their game, don't get their investment. And who is funding the HRC? Surprise, surprise, it's George Soros's Open Society Foundation.
Of course.
Now, this HRC has introduced this arbitrary credit rating to everything. States, municipalities, and even schools. Imagine that. There are people who are deciding what credit score an individual school can get. They threaten them by having these big funds withhold investments into them. We now have a made-up scoring system that doesn't physically exist, deciding how much digital money that doesn't physically exist companies get. And it makes people physically act a certain way. This is truly mind control.
Wow. That explains a lot. This is why these companies got to stay out of politics. Just do what you do. Just do what you do and stop, you know what I'm saying, surrendering to the mob. But hey, here we are.
Please, God, no, you're one of them, aren't you? You're one of them.
The main reason why boycotts generally are effective is because they threaten the reputation of the company by putting the company in a negative media spotlight. Companies don't want to have a negative attention of any kind drawn to them.
Okay.
So friends, this is the most effective boycott in history. But the memes keep coming up though. Some of my favorite things on YouTube right now are some of these memes.
Why would you want to drink Bud Light? I mean, like, honestly, that's like them rubbing our faces in it. And it's like these companies that do this, if they never have any response, they're just going to keep doing it. So if you as a consumer are like, yeah, they're basically, and I mean, it's such a fraud with what they're doing with that. Like, yeah, they're doing that, but I'm just going to keep drinking it anyways. Well, then they're just going to keep doing it. So I think we have power as consumers to make our voice heard, and not on every company, because sometimes conservative consumers aren't going to make a dent in some companies. This one is one, if you don't have conservative beer drinkers, you're going to feel that. And so, you know, I think it's a righteous thing. You know, some of these controversies, they come up and people can kind of just say, oh, well, it's kind of a one-off. Yeah, it was stupid to do. But it's part of a larger thing where corporate America is trying to change our country. Trying to change policy, trying to change culture. And, you know, I'd rather be governed by we the people than woke companies. And so I think pushback is in order across the board, including with Bud Light.
Oh, well, where do we go from here? Well, we got a music video for you today, friends. We're going to bring this video to a close. Again, what's happening to Bud Light is happening to Bud Light. Unfortunately, the people that are suffering the most are the people that are working for the company. Their stock has gone down 18%. That is huge. That is a huge loss. This is the most effective boycott ever in history. And other companies are now being extra careful because they realize we don't want the Bud Light treatment. We don't want the Bud Light treatment. You know, people are pushing back. Companies are on the edge. The situation with Bud Light may have put companies more on the edge. Target have carried Pride Month apparel for years, but when confronted with pushback this year, the retailer moved product in some stores to other areas and remove it altogether. Amen. Citing concern for workers' safety, and this decision also carries a risk. Target could wind up offending both sides of the issue. Exactly.
I can't take it anymore.
Exactly. Well, these companies need to stay away from this stuff. As simple as that. It's a simple solution, but they've signed on to the deal. The first couple years they were doing that, there was no backlash. So they got hook, line, and sinker. And now people are waking up and realizing what these companies have been doing. And now they're pushing back. And it's costing them lots of money. And I'm just enjoying the show. Here we have, once again, Mayor of Magaville. This is FOCK, Bud Light. You can interpret that however you want. Let's take a listen.
Even beer cans are celebrating transgenderism. Bud Light has just released a commemorative can. His name is Dylan Mulvaney.
Fuck Bud Light! Fuck Bud Light! Fuck Bud Light! Fuck Bud Light! Fuck Bud Light!
Make America Trump again, he said.
Fuck Bud Light! If you gay, just be gay in your bedroom. If you trans, just be trans in your bedroom. Can we keep the drag queens at the classroom? Teachers need guns in their classroom. Let's have a moment.
The Bud Light, was it someone, representative of Bud Light? They were saying that it was only one can. They didn't mean for this thing to go as bad as it went, but...
Are you crazy?
Oh, well.
I'm gonna silence for Nashville. When body's talking, I need me an Advil. It's Trump 2024 fucking tight. I've been brag, boy, we know you lying. Red, white, and blue, the flag's flying. One nation under God and it's dying. Fuck Bud Light. 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 Go woke, go broke. Dylan Mulvaney's a joke. LGB getting sunk by the T. Generation reassignment, switching P's and V's. Fake news.
The thing is, they didn't realize by bringing over their entrenched ideology into the manosphere, that was a huge mistake.
Round one, fight. LGB getting sung by the team. Gender reassignment, switching P's and V's. Fake news always spreading disease. Like two queers with HIV. Pray for the kids, they trying to eat them. People stop getting jabbed, now they trying to feed them. FDA playing with our food, can you believe them? 84 million Biden voters, I don't see them. Fuck Bud Light. 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 Fuck Bud Light.
So it used to be like 5 years ago, the idea was you do your thing, we do our thing, we don't bother each other. That was called tolerance. You want to dress up like a woman? Fine. Now, the rules have changed completely. Worship me as I dress up like a woman, or I'll crush you.
Did you hear what I said?
Tough love. Tough love. Well, these companies are going to learn. Sooner or later, they will learn. You know, what's sad about this is because companies like Bud Light and Target and North Face and Kohl's and many others, and even Chick-fil-A is added to the list. They did not realize that majority of Americans were not signing on to the deal. This has been working for them for years, right? But now people are waking up and people are flexing their muscles and people are expressing themselves and people are speaking up now. And as a result of that, they're feeling the bite. You know, friends, it is what it is. You go woke and you go broke. One thing that I thought about as I was hearing this, in Ecclesiastes chapter 8, about verse 11, look what it says: because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. The point is, you're starting to act up as companies. You've been doing this stuff for a while and there was no sentence. It looks like everything was okay, working out as planned. However, now they're feeling the bite. Now the voices of the people are being heard, and these companies are now have to make a decision. Which of the crowds, which of the two crowds are you going to please? The minority or the majority? The people who's been with you before this CEI score and DEI and all that stuff came about. Are you going to stand with the people, or are you going to stand with an ideology? The choice is yours. Thank you so much for listening. Like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more. Thank you. I'm still recovering. It's been a long weekend for me. Anyway, friends, have a good one. Bye.